Look, obviously, we all are aware that the internet is the central source of information, um, but that could be detrimental to your soul if your spiritual discernment is not heightened. So I've came across a lot of content on social media where, they will make content surrounding, what type of resources you need to use for you to achieve some sort of level of success in your life. And I've been guilty of it. And one of the prominent things that is always, most of the times, mentioned is how powerful cinnamon is. And it's obviously parallel, I would like to believe, to, a traditional healer telling you to use a specific plant in order for you to see things happening in your life. And for me, honestly, as a Christian, and if you're a Christian, I'm speaking to Christians right now, that's ludicrous that you would think that God needs you to use his resources for you to be able to attain certain things in your life. And some of them will tell you pray before using these things. It's absolutely flattering how people think that God needs to be in companionship with his resources for him to deliver things in your life. God doesn't need, to be accompanied by a cinnamon. He doesn't need to be accompanied by a plant. The thing that he created, Genesis speaks about that God created the heavens and earth and everything on it. So if you are going to a plant, or if you're using an earthly resource for you to attain things for your success and claiming them in the name of Jesus, it doesn't make sense to me. Why don't you just go to the creator of all of those things? Why don't you just believe that he created those things? Why don't you just believe that he is way more powerful and that power only resides in him for him to fulfill the promises that he has made for you in your life? You can't claim one kingdom and do things of the other kingdom. For me, it doesn't work like that. You can't claim to be a Christian, but also at the same time you're performing rituals of the things of the world. The Bible speaks about not serving two kingdoms. So you literally have to depend on God. Don't depend on the plant. It's literally like, think about it. It's literally ludicrous as a Christian. You're getting the cinnamon and you're saying, with this cinnamon, I'm going to get success. And I'm guilty of that. And I'm like, oh my God, but this cinnamon was created by the Lord. Why can't you just believe that God who created the cinnamon, that God who created the plant, that people are claiming that it will deliver things for you? Why can't you just believe that the Christ who created a lot of these things, that he could just give it to you when you go to him? Why don't you just believe that the only thing that can deliver whatever that you require, also not treating God as a machine that's just supposed to deliver to you, but if we are talking about fulfillment of promises, why don't you just believe that God who created heavens and earth, that he's capable more than that plant, more than that cinnamon, to just deliver things to you? We need to start being lukewarm Christians. I feel like we are very lukewarm. It's almost like, yeah, I believe that God exists. I believe that Jesus Christ did die on the cross for my sins and resurrected so that I can be saved. But at the same time, it's like, oh, okay, but like, you know what? I want things to work quicker in my life. I need to fasten the process, and therefore I need to get a cinnamon to... The power of God literally created those resources that you're using as a channel to accomplish things in your life. He is powerful. He created those things. He created those things. Why don't you just go to him? Why don't you just go to him and speak to him? Speak to your Father. And not depend on the resources that he created, and saying that, you know what, I'm going to use this resource and believe that God is going to deliver. No, you don't believe it. Because if you believe that God is that powerful to fulfill the promises he has made, you wouldn't try to accompany him with resources. You would just believe that God will deliver. You wouldn't have to bend something. I feel like we just need to literally, spiritually introspect. You are using the same thing that God created. He had the power to create that cinnamon, and you were thinking that cinnamon is going to be the answer to your prayers and not God. You would rather depend on the things that he created than just go into him. Just go to him, pray. He's your Father. He's going to answer you. He might not answer you in the way that you want, but he will answer you in the way that he knows that you need. You would just believe that him alone, he's enough. He's enough.